Hey guys, thank you so much for hopping on our leadership call about getting your coaches started right. I know that that's something that a lot of people are unsure on how to do or haven't quite found the thing that works best for them. So Shelley and I actually are going to give you two different ways that we get our coaches started right. One is a little more hands-on, and the other one is a little more hands-off. And both seem to be relatively successful for each of us. So you are able to take those and take a little bit from mine, take a little bit from hers. Maybe you come up with your own, whatever the case is, and we will go from there. So I'll go ahead and get started. If you guys don't know me, I am Rachel Allen, and I am a 5-star diamond elite coach this year, and have been a coach for 3 years. I really love what I do, but I just recently found this getting started right thing that I feel like is just a little cool, I guess you'll say. So I was going to talk a little bit about that. So I actually got most of this idea from Brooke Lipoff, which I shared a video of hers yesterday, so I don't know if you guys saw that, but it is a really in-depth, I guess, getting started right thing that I really enjoy. So I was going to pull up my Google Drive so you can kind of see it. So hold on a second to do that, and then I'll share the screen with you guys so you can see what the form is out. So it's a form, which, okay, I used to do an email with my team, and at the end of the email, it would say, you know, send me a text message when you get this email, whatever the case is, blah, 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 blah. But then I felt like at that point, I was immediately getting them into a getting started right call, and they didn't know what they were doing in the business yet, or weren't really going to do anything with this business, come to find out. And so it was just sort of, I felt like a waste of both of our time. So I started doing this form, and it looks like this. Screen share. Okay, so the form is like this, and you can actually go in. I'll actually give you guys a copy of this in our event. But again, this is a copy, so please, when you're doing it, don't edit this file. Just like click over here on this, and you can make yourself a copy and then save it off onto your own drive and edit that file. But here's what we've done. So our team is the Sculpted Brilliance. It talks a lot about what we have to do, you know, what we're all about and things like that, and what you're going to learn about in this form. And then they have these little boxes that they have to click. So then you're actually able to, this one doesn't have any responses, sorry, because this is the master, but my other one does. But then you're able to click here, and you can see all of their responses there. So then it actually goes through what their first and last name is, what workout program, and how to access BOD, how to be active as a coach, marking your calendar here and texting this for the wake-up call, how to download Zoom, why it's important for Shakeology, and if you've watched all these videos, how to find answers, how to contact Coach Relations, all of that stuff. It's all in this form. So once they put it in, or once they fill out this form, conceivably, they will know all of the basics of being a coach. At that point, they text me at the end. I say, shoot me a text message. I've texted Rachel, blah, 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 to let her know I finished. So once they send me the text message, they get invited into my 7-day training. And the 7-day training is more in-depth training. Again, we don't really, because we don't have to talk about Emerald, because we talked about Emerald in this form, right? So they should know what the concept of Emerald is. So we just kind of talk about how to share your story on social media, how to, make pictures, how to, why it's important to share about Shakeology in like a fun and engaging way instead of just like a selfie of your Shakeology cup, because that gets old and boring and nobody wants to see that all the time, and things like that. So just sort of like puts it out there for them that like, here are some options and here are some things that you're able to work with. So they're not just thrown into social media, which a lot of people use social media to just share those funny, tasty videos or cat videos. They don't necessarily use social media for actual social media anymore. So when you have a new customer or a new coach come on, they don't know how to do these things. So this just kind of lays it out for them. Once their 7 days is up, if they actually have finished the 7 days, then I have a getting started right call with them. And we just kind of talk about their goals at that point, what their why is, and go from there. And then they move on into module training. If they want to do module training, they move into running a challenge group with me first, or whatever the case is. I let them know that they can do as much as a little, like I don't want to stress them out. If they feel like they need to go through the 7-day training again, or if they feel like they need to spend more time in the module training, they can. But we just kind of go from there. So that's my more, I guess you could say, hand-holdish way of getting my coaches started right. I just recently started this. So before that, like I said, I was just doing these calls with people and it was wasting all of our time. Shelley actually has a totally different way of doing things, and she's going to talk about that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and mute me, and you can get started, Shelley, and talk about your awesomeness. So there you go. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. Shelley.
I know. You're like, you're muted. I'm like, I know. I'm trying to unmute myself. Thank you. This feels like when I'm at home anyways, no one's listening to me. I love that, Rachel. That's really cool. It's almost like your form is almost like a mini training group. But without being in Facebook, and kind of like being on a website, but it's in a document instead. It keeps them focused. And that's one thing I like about not having training groups in Facebook. But let me tell you guys what I do. Let me introduce myself first. And I see some of my coaches' faces on here. Hi, Sherry. Do I see anyone else, or is everyone as dark as I am? Okay, so my name is Shelley Hobbs. I am a 2015 elite coach. I've been a coach for 28 months. I am a 7-star diamond, 9-star qualifying, Success Club 10 All-Star legend, and number 29 in the network. So I'm going to give you guys my getting started plus a few extra bonus tips that, if I can read my writing, you're going to get them. Okay. I have been literally obsessed with the getting started right process at about the 14th month into my business. Now, number one, I stayed diamond for 14 months. I went nowhere, and I was a Success Club like rock star. I was rocking out Success Club points, but number one, I wasn't recruiting any coaches. So we'll talk about recruiting, or what the word I like to use is sponsoring, because I don't really bring coaches on probably like most coaches do. Almost everyone I bring on board, you guys, is a coach. Not necessarily customer, but they're one and the same. They're both. So we'll talk about that later on in our training. So I've been totally obsessed with this getting started process. And because when I learned how to recruit sponsor coaches and I did it on a massive scale, all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, now what do I do? How am I going to do this? Holy cow. What have I gotten myself into? Now what do I do? And I've gone through everything under the sun. I've had Google Docs. I've had Evernote docs. I've had checklists. I've had step-by-step guides in my file section of my team page. I've had new coach planners. I've had a team training website, which I revamped and created a brand new team training website. I've had Facebook groups. so many things. And so I was like, the more coaches I can bring on board, the more I can watch what works for them, right? And like you always are probably going to hear from us and everyone else that you ever listen to on a video is keep it simple. You have to keep it so simple, baby steps, that it like hits them like a brick in the face in a good way, right? That it's just under complicated. So one of the first things, the very first thing I do is when someone enrolls with me as a coach, I've already set the expectation that I'm going to send them 2 getting started emails. I send them a getting started email as a fitness challenger. So they've got that, and I've got just things that are focused on their fitness journey, right? And a link to my challenge group, which I only run one. I don't run a new one every month. We'll probably talk about those things later too. I do things that that are easy for me, that don't stress me out, is what I've learned to do. And then I'm a better coach. And then they get a new coach welcome email. In this welcome email, they receive, I'm just going to kind of go over the steps that they receive. So I know that they're going through a series of steps. And it starts with welcoming them to the team, telling them kind of who we are as a team. It tells them that they can get started working out right away. I'm reminding them in their challenge pack and kind of what they get. Then I have a link to my team page, and then I have a welcome video. And in this welcome video is really important because I've set expectations for them right up front. Things like, in order to be a coach, you need to start and complete a program. If not for anything else, that you're your own experiment. How are you supposed to talk about anything if you don't have an experience with it, right? So I kind of set expectations like that, and I'm happy to put in my email into the file section so you guys can see it. So I also talk about getting to Emerald and Success Club. I start planting the seeds of the words that we're going to use all of the time, okay? So I don't go into explaining a lot of it, but I just talk about it, and I'm excited about it for them. Step 2 is I get them pointed right into our new Coach Online Training Academy. I'm going to talk more about that here in just a minute. I then tell them, once you've reached an Emerald rank, your Emerald level, let's get on the phone and establish a game plan, which is very different from most people, but I'll tell you why, guys. Number 3, I have them text me that they got the email, so I kind of know like what step they're on, right? I give them all of my social media spaces, and I say, be sure to add me on all of these spaces so you can watch what I do. And then I also give them a how to enroll, the how to enroll links like the Coach Mobile, and I give them the script. And the reason why is because 3/4 of the coaches that I enroll are contacting me within the first couple days of, how do I enroll people? I haven't gotten through the training yet, but what do I do, right? So I'll remind them, hey, in your getting started email at step 5, there is the link for how to enroll people. So that way they kind of have some things to get started, even though they don't know what to do with it yet. And I'll just point them right back there. And at the very, 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 very bottom of that email, I highlighted in blue, I have an important information you want to keep close by. And it's the benefits of their coach enrollment. You know, their percent, 25% off, 25% commissions, Shakeology, or the performance line on Home Direct. And so just reminders, a lot of people don't necessarily read all the way down, but I can always refer them back to in your getting started email that I sent to you that says at the very, very top in yellow, it says, keep this email for future reference for all things coaching related. It's like in yellow, bold at the very top. And then I say, hi, Rachel, and welcome to the team, right? So they're always keeping it there. So, because it's always in those first 2, 3, 4, 5 days where they're asking me tons of questions because maybe they haven't, sometimes like nurses, I have a lot of nurses on my team. They work nights. Maybe they haven't gotten through everything yet, but I can kind of point them right back to these very important things, like if they, someone wants to order Shakeology, and then I'll kind of talk through challenge packs to them if that's the case. So that's kind of just what's in my welcome email. It's nothing fancy, but their training starts. So I have in the step 2, your training starts here. So because I've been obsessed with the training process, I've kind of created 2 different paths that I'm sort of beta testing right now. I've never had successful Coach Basics groups, like Beachbody sets them up with the challenge, with the guide, and then posting every day for people to show up and get the post. So you know what I mean? I've never, ever had one that has been successful for me. So I said, well, what else can I do? Okay, this isn't working. And the reason why it's not working is because I have flight attendants, I have nurses that work at night, I have teachers that have test weeks, and sometimes people can't get there right away. And then what would happen? Sorry, I'm kind of talking through a lot about this, but what would happen? Well, they'd feel defeated, they'd feel that they failed, and they wouldn't even keep going. And it'd be like day 5. So that's sad for them, right? So I said, well, I'm the kind of person who likes to do things on my own time. I'd like to blow through things sometimes, from like 11 o'clock at night till 3 in the morning if I want to, and just call it good. And so I decided to create self-paced coaching. So, and I think a lot of coaches are doing that lately. And I think it's very helpful because people can go at their own pace. So what I did was I created like a full scale team training website. It's like the entire brain dump of Shelley Hobbs and everything she's ever done and created that works on a team training website. It's locked, it's password protected for my coaches, but it has things like welcome, and it introduces myself and all of our diamond coaches so that they can see different faces. It has a welcome video. It has new coach training, and it has steps. Very similar to Rachel's, but it's got like 15 steps that they need to go through, and they're titled. So if I send someone that way, because maybe I know that they're going to be better off there, maybe they're not a Facebook person yet, I'm just going to send them right there, okay? And it's just step 1 through 15, and it goes through pretty much all the basic stuff with a getting started right video right there at the very top. That's setting expectations. So I don't have to have that video with them. I use Anita's, right? Or I use my success partners because she created a great one. And I've taken time to create them before you guys. And I'm like, why? Why reinvent the wheel? People can learn from other people. So remember that when you're creating trainings or leveraging videos, it's okay. It doesn't have to be all you. As a matter of fact, I don't want it to be all you. I don't want people to learn just from me, because lots of coaches on my team or lots of coaches that I find on other teams have great points in their videos, and there's no reason for you to go take your time and recreate a video that's already amazing. Spend your time on other things like building your business, keeping your funnel filled, right? Let that piece of content that's been created already work for you, for your coaches. And in the meantime, create a list of projects that you want to work on and go create 2 videos a week and call it good. Don't spend a lot of your business time doing that. That's not making you money. Once your coaches are already in, they can learn from other people. What's making you money is your activities of filling your funnel, sponsoring new coaches, sponsoring new fitness challengers. Okay, so I have that on my team training website, as well as I have like marketing ads and the scripts, frequently asked questions, how to handle objections, kind of probably all the things you guys have that might be in files sections. But I find a lot of people that I work with aren't necessarily on Facebook primarily. So that's why I started creating that team training website, because a lot of my people come from Instagram. Or on our smartphones, it's not always easy to get to a file, but it's a heck of a lot easier to go to a website and go through the steps on a smartphone or a tablet, you know? So that's one thing I don't like about files on Facebook, is that you can't get to them. You can get to them on your phone, but they're not easy to update or things like that. So team training website steps, very similar to what Rachel has, but just on a website. Now, the other path that I will test sending people, and we just started this probably like 3 or 4 months ago, is basically the same training, shorter videos because I'm known for making really long videos. And so I challenged myself to keep them under 10 minutes. And so we kind of revamped that and made shorter videos, and we brought it all into a Facebook page where we preloaded all of the trainings, and then they just click on it, and their instruction is to comment done when they're done. And day 5, check in with your coach. Day 10, check in with your coach. Day 15, check in with your coach. So I get lots of messages. Hey, Shelley, I'm on day 5. Hey, Shelley, I'm on day 10. So I can keep track of where they're going. And that allows me to say, hey, great. How's it going? Do you have any questions right now? Are you inviting? So that way they're coming to me. I'm not constantly going out to them because I would feel like a nag. You know what I mean? And I don't necessarily have a lot of time, so I can keep track of where people are by them communicating with me. If they don't communicate with me, then it's kind of like once a week, I'll kind of follow up with my new coaches. But in addition to all of this, I put all of my new coaches into a new coach chat group on Facebook. And that becomes very helpful because they're kind of all together. I'll sort of do like maybe 1 or 2 months at a time. It kind of depends on how many are in there or how active it is. I like to make it active. And then they start to help each other and answer each other's questions. So, and then every week I'll give them, okay, guys, here's what we're focusing on this week. In our marketing calendar, we're focused on getting people into our fitness challenge group. We're focused on talking about it every single day, putting out a couple large invitation, I call them big bang marketing posts on my team. Like, you know what it is when you see the photo, we're focused on posting and inviting. And so Emerald and Success Club is set an expectation very much in the forefront of things. And additionally, I tell them, hey, okay, when you get to Emerald, we're going to set up your game plan phone call. Because I've had a lot of just one-on-one phone calls with people that all of a sudden they go MIA. And it's just the strangest thing. And here I've spent an hour with them talking about the same thing that I'm going to talk to the next person about for an hour. So I've done this a few different ways. And again, I sponsor enough coaches that I can kind of test what works and what doesn't work, So one-on-one GSRs, I don't like. If they're Emerald, I like it. I want to talk one-on-one with them. I want to get to know them, what their schedule is, and I set out a game plan. Okay, here's how we're going to go Emerald again and again and again. We're going to help 2 more people do it on each side, right? And the other thing I used to do was have like an every other week new coach GSR. So that might be something to do too, where you kind of add in, okay, guys, Monday at 6, I'm gonna, for all new coaches that need to get on a getting started right call to kind of, ask any questions or establish where you are and what you need to be doing. If maybe you're kind of confused or overwhelmed, it'll be Monday at 6, and then as many people as they can get on. So I'm saying the same thing to everybody, and everyone's learning from it and from each other at the same time. And I love that people can learn from each other. It's really cool when a new coach will, teach someone else about something, and then you can go give them kudos for that. So I don't do those large group ones anymore. I'm not as organized as probably I should be, but I do like doing those. I mean, those are kind of fun when I have a little bit more time on my hands. I can say, okay, here's a new coach getting started game plan call, where they're not Emeralds, right? So welcome email, I send them to either the Facebook group or the team training website. Kind of depends on what I know about them. I also bring everyone into a new coach chat group. I have a call with people when they get to Emerald. I also have a 30 days of posting, like how to get started with social media. Now, Leslie Cordes had one, and that I used to use that just like that. But then I started adding things to it, like, hey, they should be sharing not just their own transformation or Leslie's, right? But how about the Beachbody success stories transformation? Like a lot of those are so really great. And you just talk about, you have the photo. So I started adding some of those in. So they have something to share and talk about and have a little call to action. It doesn't have to be about them. And it could be even about, people when it says like so-and-so made $500. So I have the 30 days of posting. I'm even kind of revamping some of that training because I don't know, do you guys ever hear from your coaches the word overwhelm? Anyone? Maybe? No? Okay, I do. I hear all of the time when people are like, I'm overwhelmed. And I'm always like, well, it's because everything's new for you. That's why. Everything is new all at the same time. And so when I hear that from people, I'm like, let's dial it down. I really just want you to focus on the fitness group, and I want you to take 5 training days at a time. So it kind of streamlines. They don't have to do everything on time. Just focus on these things. So when you start to hear that from your coaches, it's not because you're doing anything wrong or you're missing anything. It's just because it's new for them all at the same time. Okay, so give them just little pockets of things to focus on. But also, I'm in my church. When I go to church, I get tons of ideas because they teach the word in biteable chunks, and that's what I love. And so I always come out like, should I feel bad that I got so many ideas about my business at church? But they have this concept of jumpstart, and they have this concept of game plan. So I'm kind of moving around pieces of my training. Nothing really changes. It's all the same topics, like even what Rachel is showing you guys. But it's just structured a little differently. Jumpstart your business with these 7 steps. Now we've got a game plan. Let's build it with these 15 steps, right? So just kind of think about things in like biteable chunks for people. And I think my other, I was going to share some tips, 2 more tips here, but my other biggest thing is just always remember that if people really want it, guys, they are going to fly through a boatload of YouTube videos, and they're going to go out there and they're going to find the answers to the things that they want. And I always think about Lindsay Matway's story. She had nobody, and she was placed in a downline where there was nothing. But she had such a deep burning desire that nothing stopped her. So I always think about that. And I've seen, you guys, I've had coaches get to Emerald. Sherry's one of them. Ron's on here. Ron got to Emerald in 24 hours. Sherry got to Emerald just like a week or 2. I didn't even talk to Sherry. So I have a lot of my coaches just get to Emerald right away. I've never even talked to them yet, right? So to me, that's exciting. That shows me who they are. And then I'm really excited to get on the phone. I'm like, Ron, let's make a phone call for next Thursday, right? So do we have more time, or will we have to start over?
Yeah, we have 10 more minutes. Are you?
Yeah, I think I'm done. I was going to share those other tips, but I think I'll save it to another training, or just kind of upload a graphic just for.
Okay. Yeah, because I'd love to get questions in if people had questions too. So.
The one more thing I was going to say, guys, is if your upline coach has training, and don't hesitate to just use that too. Put your people through that and be like, we're going to work together in Rachel's training group, or whatever that is, okay? Whoever your coach is. Build your business. Don't spend so much time creating this stuff until you're recruiting and sponsoring so many coaches that you're like, I'm building my own wings, and I'm going to leverage a lot of these other things. Because otherwise your business is going to stop, and then you're going to stop sponsoring. You're not going to have any coaches. So use your coach's stuff until your business is a well-oiled machine. Okay, questions?
Yeah, you guys are muted, so either use the chat, or you can raise your hand and unmute yourself, or I'll unmute you if you raise your hand. No questions? I feel like they always get so quiet on these calls.
No. Let's have a party. We need to have a party starter before we begin our calls. That's what we need to do.
I have a question.
Okay.
Rachel, what do you do for your after they fill out the form? What type of stuff do you go over in your 7-day training?
I was actually gonna post that in the thing. Like it's really I have like a full on. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. I just had it up earlier and then I lost it. Let's see. Here it is. It's just like an outline, and I shared it on my team page. I can share it with you guys too. But it just talks like the first day is like, just telling you that I'm your mentor and things like that. And, I'm not your boss. I don't tell you when to work your business. Like, you make your rules, you make your hours and whatever. And And then I, give them like a little video that has the like what Success Club is, what Success Cutter is, what Emerald is, what the vital behaviors are. It's like just like a basic little webinar thing. And then I talk about how to clean up their Facebook page, how to make it public, what kind of pictures look good on your Facebook, that kind of stuff. That's day 1. Day 2 is more about social media. So I give them some videos from Caleb Thomas, just like how to talk about Shakeology, where it's not, like I said, just like this picture of you with your Shakeology cup, because nobody cares. And they see that all the time now. Like, I feel like more and more people that are coming in on Beachbody, and they have that same mentality. What makes that stand out from you? What makes that, like, what, if everybody's just posting a picture of your, with the Shakeology, then like, what does that matter? But if you share your story, or if I talk about, like, I do this a lot, I talk about like, oh, my kids are sharing my Shakeology with me today. Honestly, we actually stopped giving them their gummy multivitamins because there was like tons of sugar in there. And like, why am I giving my kids a vitamin with tons of sugar when I can just give them a half dose of Shakeology and they get all the stuff that they need? I always get messages after that talking about, so just like sharing your personal story is so much more empowering than just being like, yeah, got my shake today, yay, me, because no one cares. And then about your why and how to craft your story and your coach announcement. And then I have them tell me what their story is. So like, they have to make their entire announcement, and I look over that and like, hey, why don't we take this out, or let's breadcrumb this a little bit and you can talk about this later, or let's do this, or whatever. And just kind of like, that way they are ready and they have their story prepared. So then on Thursday they share their story, and then it just kind of how do you talk about Shakeology, making a list of people that you're going to reach out to, what the importance of the challenge packs are, and like how they work through the scripts, like how they answer questions and things like that. So I can share that with you guys. Like I said, it's from Brooke Lipoff is who I got a lot of the information from. So I actually keep a lot of her videos on there because I don't have time right now to make videos, or don't want to. I really like to look like this all the time. I don't really want to put makeup on. So I haven't made all these super cute, awesome videos that she does. So like Shelley said, like, why am I reinventing the wheel? Eventually, will I get around to it? Absolutely. But right now I'm trying to like build a business and build some diamonds and do that. And so I'd rather focus my time on that and let somebody else that has the time to make those videos do that. So I would do the same thing.
Totally agree, you guys. Totally. I mean, I couldn't agree more with that. So many people spend time making things that are already created. Do it over time, but it doesn't all have to be done right now.
Right.
At all. Like, schedule one day a week. You're like, I'm going to take a shower and do my makeup and my hair, and I'm going to make 2 videos. And that's it. That's all. Move on. Fill your funnel.
Yep. Jen asked if I run one every week, or is it just the same training and they do it self-paced. So I do run it every week. And so I tell them, like, I get in there and I'm like, I post it on my team page. I'm like, here's the link. You can get in if you want to, if you filled out the form. I add them all in at a certain time, and then I run through the 7 days. I delete everybody out of that group, delete all the posts, and start over again. This week, we haven't signed any new coaches, so I didn't have a training. Sunday will come around, and I will post the training back up again, and you can get into that, so on and so forth. So it just continues to go. And
for me, for my group, everyone on our team, everyone, unless they're like, 1-star diamond and their funnel is filled and their business like is a nice, just greased up wheel, right, where it's going, they've got their own group. But that's not very many coaches yet on my team. So most of us just put all of our coaches into that one training group on Facebook, or send them to the team training website. So that way, everyone's learning the same thing. They're hearing the same thing. They're doing the same thing. And that is why I believe a lot of our coaches run at the same pace, have a lot of the same success. You know what I mean? We're not all branched off bunch of ants going and doing a bunch of different things.
And that makes a lot of sense, because if one of us is doing it, we're just copying and pasting. So what does it matter? Like,
right.
You know, I do say in my outline, like, if you're a strong diamond coach, then yes, run this yourself. But if you're not, and you're not hitting Success Club 10 every single month, and you're not signing up, like, you know, the 5 to 10 to 15 coaches a month, like, what's the point? You're going to run your group with 2 people and you've spent all this time doing that for an entire, like, why? Like, right. Toss them into mine. Be there, add yourself to the group, and be there to support them, because it shouldn't just come from the upline only. But, you know, Brooke Lipoff is the girl, and she's got some, when I post the link, you'll see some of her videos in there. And she actually, I posted the video from her yesterday about how to make your pictures pretty. So we have less than a minute, guys. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and stop this. If you guys have any more questions, please ask in the event page, and we'd be happy to answer them. And check in for the rest of the week. We have a couple more things coming up, and then we have our next training video on Monday morning, or morning-ish, noon Eastern, 11 Central, and 9 Pacific time. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.
Thanks, everyone, for showing up tonight. Have an amazing rest of the week. Bye.
Bye, guys.